Hi, Priya.
Yes, hi. How are you doing, Chandrani?
I'm good. I'm good. How have you been?
Very well, very well. And I was kind of reflecting on the previous conversations that we had, and I think it was some good learnings for me personally. So I'm looking forward to, extending the learnings today.
Likewise, likewise. So, like I was looking, on social media, and this is the Pride Month. So I was thinking of asking you this question. Very often there are leaders who change the way or they have been perceived in society and everything. But the system does not perceive the change because they still continue to look at the individuals through the old lens. Or maybe I should say the system sometimes sees the change but does not accept it. So, how does a leader address this exactly?
Hmm. So let me just go back to a coaching conversation that I was having a few weeks ago. And this was actually, I was actually facilitating a discussion between a leader and my coachee because this was like a mid checkpoint or something. So we were having a conversation and the leader was sharing some areas where what he's perceiving as further, areas that my coachee can develop. And so the statement the leader said was, you're a star performer and you've already achieved your numbers because this was an account manager that I was coaching. So you've already achieved the numbers. So that's extremely gone well. But what you could do differently as you move forward is to see how you can involve more stakeholders or bring in more people into your process of closing deals, right? So right now, it seems like you work and you take decisions, and sometimes people in the team also feel not included in it. And so this coachee of mine was able to understand and a lot of context and clarifications that he sought. And then we happened to have a subsequent discussion during the next coaching conversation. He did bring this up as a topic for discussion. While the discussion is going on and while we were peeling the different layers of this particular issue, what he could do to make his process of winning deals more inclusive. I mean, we realized that my coach's orientation
Yeah.
was slightly, in a way, he was oriented to towards achieving things on his own because from the way from the place where he comes from, his acceptance by many people were challenged when he was growing up.
Yeah.
Because he belonged and he supported the QT community,
Yeah.
he was kind of right from a very young age, he was having challenges of creating that, I need to prove myself to be part of, to be accepted. So that challenge always made him overperform or stand out in circumstances, that streak of independence.
Right.
But he was also willing to say, hey, how can I, include my environment? And that's when he discovered that the challenge lied when the environment was not very accepting of him.
Right.
So as even though I change and I include them, but they will still look at me through this lens that they've always looked at. So therefore, how can I create a systemic acceptance rather than just I'm changing, my manager's given me feedback and I'm changing, I'm trying to be more inclusive.
Right.
But how can my manager be more vocal about my change or role model acknowledgement and appreciation, not only for me, but for all the others, so that when the manager starts role modeling things, then perhaps the system will start accepting the change because they're seeing it come from a higher person. So these were
Right.
some observations, and I thought it was an important conversation to bring when you asked that question because so while people are willing to change and everybody has their own orientation, but their willingness to contribute to a larger outcome for an organization doesn't get anywhere less from their orientation.
Of
The
course.
system needs to recognize that, and the system needs to have the maturity to build this inclusion, and that comes when managers start setting some guidelines, norms, and also start role modeling the behaviors that can make the environment very inclusive and where a person feels belonged. So it's important for people to not just say, I'm changing and I've given the feedback, but what is the managers doing to create the system to see the change, accept the change, and collectively they all move forward. So that's something that we should be thinking about, Chandrani.
Right, right. I'm glad you said that, Priya, because like this is it's never easy to address these changes at a larger level in the higher levels. But there's also the other side that I want to talk to you about, that, you know, when the same leader is dealing with his team, or suppose let's talk about somebody who is straight maybe, and is dealing with a team that has employees who identify with different genders. In that case, how does he ensure that there is no discrimination among the team members also, or that there are no politics involved when it comes to, you know, looking at an unified vision for the team or the organization, which should be strictly professional and not something to do with personal beliefs in any way?
Correct. I think it should also be, I think organizations should make this as a mandate where every team creates their own norms, vocabulary, and practices for inclusivity, belongingness, and having a broader mindset to acceptance. I think we focus a lot on building these norms and team values on performance metrics. So if we have to achieve something collectively, what are some of the things we will do? There are lots of gives and gets conversations that happens to achieve those kind of metrics. But when it comes to these dimensions that really are going to make the employee and the system, the value and their belonging in the organization, there is the norms, the vocabulary itself. What's the vocabulary we should use? What's the vocabulary that should not be used? What are the ways in which we will behave to harness diversity? What are the ways in which we will, what is the language we will use for, for defining and ensuring that everybody feels valued in the ecosystem, feels value in contribution, and feels value in their presence, right? So these are some things that I believe that every manager should set it up, because as managers, it is our responsibility to create these norms when we move up into that position, right? Because you're in a responsible position and you can't act in any irresponsible manner to only look at the business results. These are some thoughts coming, Chandrani, but I think it needs to be at a systemic level, both at the individual and at the systemic level.
Yeah, right, Priya. Thank you so much. That was really, really enlightening. And I hope more and more managers and leaders get to hear this.